I just love the fact that Jesus is a carpenter. I love the fact that he was born into the home of a carpenter. Because now think about it. What do carpenters do? They build things, they make things, and then they fix things when they go wrong. So Jesus Christ made the world, we're told in Colossians 1, Hebrews 1, John 1. And then the world went bad, didn't take him by surprise at all. And now the carpenter from Nazareth who made the world is going to fix the world. And boy, he knows how to fix. And he's going to fix it. And when it says he goes to prepare a place to build a home for us, well, do you think that it would be quite an advantage to a carpenter to be, say, omniscient and omnipotent when he's building something? Yeah, be a great advantage. And that's him. He knows, and he can do. And he's doing that for us. What does Scripture say? At the renewal of all things, Jesus said in Matthew 19, when the Son of Man sits on this glorious throne, you have followed me, will sit on 12 thrones. At the renewal of all things. There's a renewal of all things that's going to come. God doesn't give up on this world any more than he gives up on you and me. The renewal of all things, what do you suppose all things means in the original Greek? Yeah, it's another one of those. All things. Or what about Peter in Acts 3 when he's preaching one of the first sermons in the early church that we have recorded, where he says, Christ must remain in heaven until the time comes for God to restore everything, as he promised long ago through his holy prophets. Yes, God's going to. He hasn't given up on the world. He's going to bring it all together. And I think you see that in verse 23. Not only the creation, but we ourselves who have the first fruits of the Spirit, we groan inwardly as we wait eagerly for adoption as children, the redemption of our bodies. One day, the resurrection, it's all going to come together in the resurrection. And people say, but wait a minute, our bodies, they're going to be destroyed. The world's going to be destroyed. Right, and then God's going to undestroy our bodies and undestroy the world. He's going to make new bodies for us to live in for all eternity. He's going to make a new world for us to live in. And Jesus, remember his resurrection body, and we're told that our bodies will be like his. And his resurrection body, he's saying to the disciples, touch me, handle me. A spirit does not have flesh and bones as I have. The resurrection body has flesh and bones. And he eats food with them. He fixes breakfast for them. And when he eats food, does it just drop through to the ground? No, because he's got a real, actual body. This is not pretend. This is not play. There are people who would die before they deny the doctrine of the resurrection, but they don't believe it. I had a man in our church tell me one time, oh man, are you saying we'll actually eat and drink and we'll have real bodies forever when we're with the Lord? And I said, well, yeah, that's what Scripture says. I mean, repeatedly it says it. And he said, that just sounds so unspiritual. You go, well, let's not try, and C.S. Lewis said this, let's not try to be more spiritual than God. God is the one who made matter. As Lewis said, he's fond of matter. He invented it, And so that's what we'll experience for all eternity. And that's one of the reasons, by the way, we don't look forward. Because we have this bucket list mentality that says, well, I got to get it all here and now because Lord knows I won't be able to travel to beautiful, wonderful places in heaven. Come on, the resurrection, new earth, there's a new Jerusalem. Will there be a new Los Angeles? Will there be a new Dallas? Will there be a new Paris? Will there be a new Amsterdam? Will there be, why not? We don't know all the details, but we do know that there will be places people live on the earth. That's very clear in Revelation 21, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 65, Isaiah 66. Ezekiel 47, and other passages that this is just clearly revealed. We'll eat and drink and we'll celebrate. And so when that day comes and we look back at our lives and we look at the all things of Romans 8:28, we will have the benefit of retrospect and be able to say, oh God, now I see how you caused all those even terrible things, the suffering I went through. And you worked that together to do a work in me and through me to help me reach other people, like our friend Johnny Erickson Tata, who I guess 48 years ago now, as a 17-year-old, dove and become into the shallow water and became a quadriplegic, and God has used her across the world to minister to disabled people. And if she had it to do over again, would she say, oh, okay, Lord, that really wasn't good, so I wish that I would have lived a life not in a wheelchair? No, she told me she recognizes it was God's plan. You could say, wait a minute, come on. Really? Oh, that was Satan that did that. Well, if it was Satan, he didn't know very well, because God was going to use that thing and did use that thing. Well, wait a minute. No, it was just an accident. It was just random. When God is sovereign, he can use whatever things and does use them to his glory. And a few years ago, when Johnny, as if she had not suffered enough in her life, is diagnosed with breast cancer, the first thing she says in a conversation that we had with her is, well, God's given me a new mission field to people who have cancer. Now, if you view your life that way, with God being sovereign and loving, not one or the other, but both, you will see your life through an entirely different lens. You will have an eternal perspective that realizes the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared with the glory that will be revealed in us.